You good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Coach. So about 9, 10 years ago, we sat here and we were talking about Nick Bosa, and you said he might be one of the best, if not the best, athlete or football player to come out of St. Thomas Aquinas.
That was correct.
When you look at what he's done now, what do you say about that prediction?
Well, the story about both those guys, I cannot remember who we played, but I want to say it was Camden County out of South Carolina. So I'm coming off after the game, and it was, the whole town shut down. This whole place was closed down during the game because of the parking. And those bleachers were probably 1,200, something like that. It was, you couldn't see any. I mean, it was packed. So one of the guys that coached for us is a sheriff, and he knows the dad, John. So we're coming in, place packed in here. Here comes John. I know who he was. And here are the two boys. Holy, who are these guys? And so next time they both came. And, you know, you think that when Joey was here, he was his own deal, too. And then here's Nick, and he's better.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, he's had more success. I don't know if he was better, but only in 2010, we were playing out in Jerry's World, Skyline out of Dallas, and Joey was a freshman, and we were having a walkthrough Saturday morning before the game. It was on that next Sunday, and so Joey hurt his back and could not make that trip. And once they got going, they played together 1 year, and Joey was rush end, and Nick was the nose guard. Okay. So it was, both of those guys were very formidable. Well, let's say that.
One of the things I remember about both of them, but Nick in particular, I think, was how big he was compared to everyone else on the field. Was there anything he ever did that wowed you so much where you went, okay, that's when I knew he was going to be special?
Well, he was, okay. See, Joey had committed to Ohio State, and so Coach Meyer came around, and we were in workouts up in the weight room. And here is Nick doing handstands, walking on his hands. He goes, that's Bosa, isn't it? And I go, yeah. He had never seen the kid before. He goes, that's it.
That was the moment?
Oh, yeah. But anyway, so when Nicky was a senior, we were having summer workouts. And I'm sitting in the office over here, and here he comes in, and he plops down in the chair right in front of me. He goes, Coach, I'm going to commit to Ohio State, and could you call Coach Meyer? I go, when did you decide this? Today? Oh. I said, have you talked to your mom and dad about this? No. So I called John. I said, you need to get over here right now. So he did. And Cheryl came over. And here we go. Meyer at home, or in his office. And he tells Nick, he goes, hey, Coach, I just want to tell you I'm really happy I'm coming to Ohio State. I just want you to know that. And all of a sudden, there was like silence, nothing. And you hear a door open, and you couldn't say what. They had all the guys in the coach's office. Here's the head coach's place, and down the hallway were all the assistants. And here they come running. I don't see this, obviously. The people are yelling and screaming. I said, Nick, they're happy. But the other thing about Nick, too, Mike, is that his academics were fabulous.
Yeah.
I think he graduated at 3.7, something
Yeah.
like that.
It was something like that. It was up there. It was like
Yeah,
not
it was-
3.740.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And I was talking and thinking about last night. I do not remember Nicky ever have any type of punishment like detention or Saturday cleanup or nothing. I know that for a fact he never came as a bad guy into that office.
Yeah.
It was like a kind of a guy that Joey was very quiet, very, very quiet. Nick was very kind of like, had a very happy, caring personality about him.
He was a little bubbly.
He was.
Yeah.
And like it was every day I'd see him walking down the hall with a female.
He was good with the ladies.
Yeah. When you watch the success he's having now,
Yeah.
just knowing that you coached him, what's the sort of level of pride you have when you see one of your guys go off and do great things and have another chance to be a Super Bowl winner for St.
Yeah.
Thomas Aquinas?
You know, Mike, that is so hard to describe. You know, you go out there and you got 100 guys practicing, and Coach Harriet, our coach now, you guys know Roger. He played for us when I coached, and his ideas and in today's age is he's unbelievable. And I know that as I see him every day, and we meet twice in the mornings, off campus, Roger and I look at like Nick and his and Joey and the things that they've accomplished and the things they're gonna accomplish. I look at Roger the same way, in a different deal. And Roger is, to me, plays in a Super Bowl almost every day here with what we have to do and help these kids to be young men and ladies. And I look what Nick does, and that's his job. But if you look at him at his job, there's a smile a lot on his face. He enjoys what he does, and he enjoys people.
How much have you been able to talk to him over the last few weeks?
No, I'm going to call him this weekend. It's 1 week out.
What are those calls like to this day when you?
Oh, how are you? How you doing? One of those deals?
Yeah.
Yep.
Any old jokes you guys got?
No, there's a couple I can't tell you. A couple issues too. And we talked about it yesterday. I talked with John about that one deal. It was a great deal, worked out.
Yeah. Will you be going out to the game? Or are you gonna watch the game here?
I can't even hardly came to one of our games now. I can't walk. You know?
Yeah.
And one of the reasons like that trip, it took many of those trips, flying and trying to buses and,
Right.
you know, so, but I think that the product of be able to watch a game of the magnitude that the Super Bowl is, and you're thinking, that kid was in our weight room. He was in our locker room. He walked these halls. And talking to people about him, the teachers said that he really kept the classroom lively, and it was fun for everybody in there.
Yeah. How many Super Bowl winners do you have, by the way?
Well, let's see. You got Mike Irvin. You got Joe Bernard. You got James White.
James White.
A couple other guys now played in it. I would be, I never even thought to even count that up. I know that Dallas Turner will probably be a number one pick, probably in the top 10. And I think another or two kids, which would mean, I believe it's If it's 2, I think it's 47 and 49. There'd be 49 guys drafted out of this program.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Do you, and we'll wrap it up here, do you, when you watch them, no matter how old they get, do you still see them as kids? Do you see them as one of your kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. That's the best part.
Yeah. A couple of these guys come back in the summer. Nick and Joey have come back in the summers of their town, and they work out with our kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To this day?
Yeah.
Yeah. What does that do for the other kids here?
You can imagine that.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes to the young kids. Number one, wow. Number two, I want to be like those guys.
Yeah.
That helps us immensely.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think our players look at these type of guys as big-time heroes. But there was a comment today that by another recruiter here today, and they were talking to some young kids, and he said to them, and I've never heard this comment before, he said, you know, I'm just telling you guys, I can't promise, but we're going to offer you. Because you're young, we don't say, but if anybody offers you, and maybe it's 2 or 3 different schools, that means one thing, you got to work harder.
Yeah.
And that's what I think, that you see these guys up there, and people talk about them, they go, hey, guess I saw this guy. Elijah Moore,
Yeah.
right? I was in hospital yesterday, and I went to see one of my old coaches, and he fell down, and it's in the 80s. So I'm walking there, and I have a Aquinas shirt. This guy looks, he's a hospital worker, you know, a male nurse or whatever, I don't know. And he walks me, I said, hey, how you doing? I never know this guy, never met him, saw him in my life. So I go and he goes, excuse me. And finally I turn around, he's talking to me. He walks up, he goes, are you the football coach at Aquinas? I said, well, it's Aquinas, so I retired. So he said, yeah, I talked to this guy. It was the guy I was seeing. He said, yeah, I think that Coach Smith's coming to see me this morning. He goes, oh. And the guy says to him, well, he's going to recruit you because look at you. The guy's probably 30, but he looks like he's 20. So I just talked to him about what a deal that we have here with the Aquinas sprawled out, and the Aquinas goes all over this nation, and it's a trademark. But the promoted that is the Bosa brothers and the other guys, you know, and that goes into our legacy, but it gives hope to the kids that are stay here. I want to be those guys.
They're great ones. Yeah.
And you know the other thing too, both boys were very smart and good people. And in talking to John over the years, he said to me, this is very pointed too. He said, I told both the boys, I am not your agent. I am not your coach. I am not your lawyer. I'm just your dad.
Yeah.
And remember that. You got to do things for yourself. And the one thing I promised him, that those 2 boys, I want you to go to everywhere that you have opportunity to do, get around the best coaches you possibly can.
Yeah.